Everyone, today I'm doing a review of the Swagtron EB-5 base model. This is the one without a removable battery. I want to be clear about that. It can be had right now on swagtron.com for $499.99, which actually is the price that I paid 2 years ago when I first got this bike. And I suppose this is my review after 2 years. I will be posting a review of the one with the removable battery later on, but for now, this is just a review of I would call this the base model. And it's pretty affordable, as you can see. That's a really low price for a bike. And to get into the electric bike market, and it's a folding bike, I'll have you know, too, it's just incredible. It's a really low price. So the price, it's definitely worth looking into this. And you'll see some of the pros and cons later in this review. So I posted a review several years ago on my channel of the Genesis City Commuter electric bike. It's very similar to this. In fact, the mileage is exactly the same. And the Genesis City Commuter had a horn button, and it had a built-in light, a headlight on the front. This does not have that. And I believe the Genesis City Commuter also had a gear shifter with gears on the back. Now, I could be wrong about the gear shifter, but I guess I'm just kind of trying to remember what the bike was like. It was very similar to this. So as I mentioned before, this is a fixed gear. It's one gear down here. Now, the entire bike folds up, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. But the wheels also push in and fold up, which is kind of neat. If you've seen an unboxing video of this bike, you know that the wheels, the pedals, they fold up like this, which is pretty neat. Now, like the Genesis City Commuter, which came out many years ago, I'm not even sure if they still sell it, but basically everything about that review is true for this bike too. It might have been that it's the same bike, I'm not entirely sure. But the wheels are very small, so because the wheels are small, when you're pedaling it, when you run out of battery power, you will find it's really hard to pedal this bike, because of the mechanical advantage is almost non-existent because the wheels are so small. Now, bikes like your road bikes and your mountain bikes, they have bigger wheels, and every time you turn the pedals a full rotation, you're getting a much greater mechanical advantage, especially if you have a shifter. This does not, like I mentioned before. So when it runs out of battery, and the range on this thing, if you're not pedaling, if you're just using the throttle, is about 8 miles. That's what I found. And that's fairly consistent across the board, no matter where I'm going, no matter where I am, whether there's hills or not, whether it's flat land, whether it's mostly downhill. It's about 8 miles to a charge, which takes about 4 hours to charge this thing. And so when this gets down to about 2 bars, it's almost completely dead. And you really have to watch that. So what I do when I'm riding this thing is there's an app called the speedometer on iPhone and Android. It's called Speedometer. And it gives you the mileage that you've traveled, even if you're on a bike or walking, it doesn't really matter. It looks at satellites and imaging, and it actually will tell you how far you've gone. So it's an app called Speedometer. I am not going to put that in the description. But you can find it on Google Play Store or the Apple Store as well. So you want to make sure that you go and stay in the 8-mile range that this thing can do. I will say that when I first unboxed this thing, I could notice creaks and squeaks when I put it together. However, those went away over time. So now I'd like to demonstrate to you the folding ability of this bike. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, if nothing else, for the folding ability and the space-saving utility of this bike is worth what you're paying for it, in my opinion. So as you can see, this thing is fully assembled. I'm going to start by going like this, going to fold the pedals in. They fold up like that, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put the seat down, which I wouldn't really recommend because it's hard to find the right seat height unless you like mark it to be able to know where it went before. But I found that that's one of my biggest complaints and concerns of just not knowing where my seat position was before. Put a notch right here where you know it's supposed to be, and do the same with the steering, the handlebars. Put a notch where it's supposed to go so that you know and you don't have to guess. Anyway, so you put the seat down like so, and I might have tightened it up a little bit. Apologize. Then you put the handlebars down as well. They come down nicely. Then so this is kind of tricky. I mean, this is kind of, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't feel 100% safe because it's just something that could come out of place so easily, and then your handlebars would fold over. So see how easy that comes out of place? I mean, I'm sure if you're riding long distances on this thing, 8 miles, or if you're pedaling it, it's going to be about 20 miles. But that comes out of place very easily. And this could too, here too. That's what holds the frame in place. So you unattach that, and then you fold that down, and now your handlebars fold down like so. See that? So then you flip this up, and this comes out. And then your bike folds in on itself. And this is the bike fully folded up. There's no like latch or anything to keep it from unfolding, unfortunately. But it's pretty compact once it's folded up. Again, like the Genesis City Commuter, it's exactly the same battery style. You can't remove the battery at all on this particular model. But there's an upgraded model that you can remove the battery. It's a little bit bigger frame, but it does give you that option. So the bike did come pre-assembled, for sure. I think the only thing that was not on it when I got it was the handlebar, which had to be inserted down here, and the seat. I mean, I think those were like packed up next to it or something. And honestly, I should have done an unboxing video, and I apologize that I did not. But I've had this bike for so long that it's a review after as long as I've had it. 15.5 miles on one charge. You know, I'm going to say it's 8 miles if you only use the throttle, because that's been my honest, and that's honestly what I get, 8 miles. So if you're pedaling it, you can get 15.5 miles. But with this thing, it's like if you're pedaling it, it's like it's too easy, and then you're just moving your legs too fast. So I don't know. There's no resistance against it. And I guess that's what an electric bike does with pedal assist, I suppose. But you don't get any exercise at all. When the battery dies, you will get a lot of exercise, I promise. it does fit anywhere. I mean, I have it in the back of my Mustang, which is amazing. You know, it's very portable. And I've even been told, and I haven't tried this yet, but I've been told you can take it on buses with you. It shows this guy on a train. Well, you can actually fold these up and put them under the seat. Just wanted to say right now, a lot of you are probably wondering about the speed of this. You use a speedometer app, as I mentioned before, and I do go about 15.5 miles an hour. That's correct, with the throttle. It's about 15 to 15 and a half. If you're pedaling, it seems like it goes a little bit faster. Maybe you can go about 16, but you're not going to go like small car speeds or anything like that. You're going to be able to go faster than a regular bike, but in the bike lane. So it's going to get you where you want to go faster than a normal bike and without exerting any effort, honestly. Let's see. And then Swagtron also has some of these other tinier bikes, which probably don't get as good a range. I would definitely, okay. It weighs 37 pounds. Charging time 45 hours. It takes 4 hours. Power assist, yes. You're going to find that you're going to use the throttle if you're commuting with this thing. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to do a review of the Swagtron of the version of this bike with the removable battery. And I actually have 2 batteries for that, so stay tuned for it. And thank you for watching.